Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Ben and I'm a photographer and videographer based in North Wales. This is the Fujifilm X-S10 and this video is just my first initial thoughts after a few days of ownership. Regular viewers of this channel will know that I'm a Sony shooter first and foremost. This is on the A7R IV right now and I also used A7 III, but last August I picked up as a birthday present to myself the Fujifilm X100V and I have absolutely loved shooting with this camera, especially during lockdown. At the start of this year I started a Instagram challenge. I'm posting every single day, find out more up here, and almost exclusively I've been using this camera and I've absolutely fallen in love with it. So it'll probably come as no surprise that I've been keeping my eye on Fujifilm's latest offerings as and when they send the units out to other YouTubers. And one camera that really caught my eye was the X-S10. So in the box we get the camera itself. In my case I got the lens as well. Because we don't have a headphone port, we actually get a USB Type-C to 3.5mm adapter. We get the battery, a USB Type-C charging cable, and the Fujifilm strap, which I am never going to use. One thing I did find weird was you don't get a hot shoe cover. I don't think I've ever bought a new camera before without a hot shoe cover, but apparently that's what they do with their lower grade cameras, which is a shame, but there we go. I have actually ordered one with the Fujifilm X logo off Amazon, so I'll let you know how that is. So it's pretty funny, it actually arrived today in a box calling it the soft release button, which is what I actually bought for the X100V, but it is actually pretty nice. Surprisingly, it is metal rather than plastic. And it does fit nice and snugly. And it actually matches the black very nicely, to be fair. I think it looks pretty cool. Let me know what you think. I'll leave a link down below. Now, what about this camera precisely actually drew me to it? So first off, what I really liked about the X-S10 was the ergonomics. You've actually got a really nice grip on there. For me personally, ergonomics is a very big deal, especially just for casual shooting, which is what the Fujifilms are for. All my professional shooting will still be on the Sonys, but having a camera just feel right in the hand is a massive bonus for me. If it doesn't feel right, I feel less inclined to actually get it out and shoot. So having a camera that I'm very happy just holding through day-to-day life will mean I'm taking more shots, which means I'll get better shots, in theory. Secondly, one thing I've kind of been missing just now and then from my Lumix G9 shooting days is a fully articulating LCD screen. Next up is the dials. I absolutely love the look of the X-T3, X-T4, those cameras, but I would find the dials a bit too much, I think. Not that I couldn't understand it, it's just a conventional wheel, as on here, is far easier and quicker to use. It's far more in line with the Sony cameras and pretty much any other mirrorless DSLR camera you could use, and so it's more intuitive. The next great thing about this camera, image stabilization. That is at times one thing I've really missed quite a bit on the X100V. Again, going back to my Lumix G9 days, I was really spoilt with the image stabilization of those cameras. Sony's have it, it's decent, but it's nothing compared to the Lumix. So far, using the X-S10, I found it to be very effective. Next is the colour profiles. I had been looking at some slightly older Fujifilm models like the X-T20, that sort of era, but anyone who's seen my photography over the last 2 or 3 months, especially with the X100V, will pretty much know I absolutely adore the classic negative film simulation. I cannot get enough of it, and it's included in this camera. And finally, interchangeable lenses. One thing that's been a real draw of the Fujifilm system for me for quite a long time, and I've just never jumped in was the lenses. It is raining, so I'm not strictly talking about this one. This is the 16-80 f4, which came as a bundle with the X-S10, but I'm talking about their prime lenses. This is the 35mm f2. So on the APS-C sensor, this will give just over a 50mm focal length equivalent, and it's tiny. It is so small and light as well, but they are such hard wearing lenses. They're fully weather sealed and everything, and so far I've loved shooting with this 35mm. And to be fair, the 16-80 is a fantastic lens from what I've shot with it so far. Granted, it is a little bit big. It is the same size as the camera itself and definitely heavier than the camera, but image quality is fantastic and weather sealed, image stabilization. But the direction I really want to go with this camera is the tiny primes. Fujifilm by now have a fantastic selection of small primes like this. I'm also ordering soon the 23mm f2, and that means I can do some pretty good comparisons between the X100V, which has a 23mm f2 lens, as well as a wide angle. I'm thinking maybe the 16mm 2.8, and down the line maybe the 50mm or the 90mm. Anyone who knows me know I'm a big fan of prime lenses. This is being shot right now on the Sony 24mm f1.4, and this is the lens I'll use for 90% of a wedding day when I'm doing photography. So yeah, I cannot wait to get a little selection of these tiny prime lenses together. Another draw of this camera compared to X-T3, X-T4 is it has exactly the same battery as the X100V. It's the NPW126S, and I also have a plan of using this camera as my vlogging camera. I love the Sony cameras, especially with this 24mm G Master, especially with the focus, but they can be a bit heavy, especially this one. I've been using the A7R4 for my vlogging for the last 6 months or so, and more than anything I just really love to be able to keep my work cameras and my pleasure cameras, and I'd really love to be able to keep my professional cameras, the workhorses from Sony, and my hobby cameras, the Fujifilms, completely separate. I couldn't imagine anything worse than going out in the hills with my A7R4 and 24mm G Master. That is £3,000 or £4,000 worth of equipment, and dropping it or something, and then knowing I've got a wedding to shoot in a week's time. There is no way I'm going to get that turned around in terms of repairs in time. I know that is why I have 2 Sony bodies for backup, but I do enjoy shooting with 2 cameras through the day. I'll just keep the 24mm on one body and the 55mm on the other body, and I can dual wield like that perfectly all day. So I'm thinking this could be a very good addition to my collection, keeping my Sony cameras safe while hopefully doing a great job for this channel when I'm out in the hills and stuff, bringing you folks more videos. Which brings us to another point on this camera. We do have a 3.5mm audio jack, which I'm delighted about. I could have technically been doing video on the X100, but it's just got the 2.5mm. Speaking of which, let's do a quick little video test. Remember, this is a big old lens, and I do intend to get a slightly lighter lens for this vlogging lark. They have done a great job of the design, so the microphone port is just above the screen, which means it's not going to get knocked or in the way at all. Okay, so I'm vlogging on the Fujifilm. This is using the Rode Video Micro. How does it look? I believe I've got stabilization on. How's the eye tracking doing? Is it pretty good? Is it smooth? Let's try zooming a little bit. I think I just need to play with the sensitivity of the focus still, but I think it's looking pretty good. So yeah, there we go. New camera, very much enjoying it so far, and I cannot wait till I can afford to expand my collection of lenses. So, videos coming up, you can definitely count on seeing a comparison between the X-S10 and the X100V, both with the 23mm f2 lenses, and I also have the TCL 50mm converter for the X100 as well, which I'll have to compare with the 35mm f2. So all of that to look forward to, and yeah, that'll do it for this video. So if you've been thinking, or you've been eyeing up the X-S10, if you've got any questions at all, let me know down below, because I'll be trying to put this camera through its paces in the coming weeks. If you've already got the X-S10, let me know. Are there any little quirks or anything that I'm yet to discover? And tell me which your favourite lenses are as well. Obviously I'm brand new to the Fujifilm interchangeable lens system. I'm really enjoying the 35mm so far, looking to get the 23mm, but do let me know if you have any recommendations. I'm hoping to try out some of the 7 Artisan lenses as well, and maybe some of the Samyang lenses. We'll see. So yeah, there we go. Let me know your thoughts. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do give it a like. Hit subscribe if you want to see more Fujifilm content. There will be a lot more Fujifilm content on this channel. And yeah, otherwise, be good, stay safe, get shooting, and I'll see you in the next video.